Meron tayong buwipindot dito. Kala niya natatawa tayo sa kanya. Ayan o. Ayan. Tumutunog siya. Pero pag pinindot mo, tutunog talaga. Nahiya pa siya kasi meron camera eh. Yan yung mga ghosts. Tatakot sila sa akin. Shy type siya. Ganun. Shy type. Ayan. Tutunog siya. Pili ko yung ano dito, may naiiwan siya. Hindi na binalik sa kanya. Ano tumutunog eh?
Pero,
Hello po, meron po dito may multo po dito nare-reklamo namin. Wala, sunod-sunod daw. Hindi kasi ganito yan guys, tignan mo. So, pipindutin ko Kanina pa namin ito inaayos. Pag pinindot mo to, tutulog talaga. Ayun o. O, sira. Ba't nagpo-proceed?
may laman.
Wala. Walang laman mo pa ng phone.
Diin mo.
Ha?
Diin mo.
Huwag mo na kunin, wala naman laman eh. Interesting.
Sakit ng ulo ko lalo.
Ito guys. So guys, siya. Umano talaga siya. Pag pinindot mo ayan, gagan talaga siya. O, gaganyan siya. Pero yung sa video, ganito. Ganon. Pero, pag normal siya, ganyan lang. O, yun. Yun sa video, ganyan. Ang gulo eh.
This is what you call the scientific explanation of division of two monies. You need to divide the difference between typicity and compatibility. As you can see, the aircons divided. Parang may muka. Hala, oo nga, parang may muka. So, ang dami nagko-comment na parang may muka nga daw. Ito yun, ito yun. Pero umaga na ngayon. Ayan yan, Kita niyo naman butas siya, 'di ba? Meron kasing story behind that. This is the unresolved problem. Unresolved mystery pala. So way back 2012, dun sa same room, yung sinasabi natin na mayroong something na mukha. Meron silang nakita, nagpicture din yung friend namin, tapos may nakitang kaya nang humusga. Ito creepy talaga. That time wala siyang kasama, kasi wala siyang kasama. Siya lang mag-isa. Tapos
Laptop yung pinicturan.
ano?
Sa laptop pinicturan, collage. Tapos yung picture na yan. Yan lang yung inano namin. Parang clean up. Ganun. Kasi yan lang meron mo.
Kanina ko lang ito nakita kasi nga sobrang matatakotin ko. Kanina lang sinend sa akin yung picture. Sabi ko, nakakatakot talaga. Ito yung closer look. Tingnan nyo, natatakot ako, promise. Ayan yung closer look. Legit yan, no joke. Ayan. Ayun lang naman. Yung gusto namin iparating na
Mukha. Nung nakita niya natin dito, pagkagbangon niya na ganyan sa sofa.
ayoko, hindi ko kaya. The only purpose of this video is the split side aircon, not the face beside the aircon.
Naalala ko na guys, Bella Vista pala yung pangalan nitong lugar na to. Pag
pag dinerecho nyo naman yan, ayan, nakikita nyo, dagat na yan. Tapos yung ibang mga kwarto dyan, nakaharap na talaga sa dagat, kaya maganda yung view. Dito ko nga nakita kung sino ang totoong demonyo, kasi ayan, kinaladkad niya talaga ako papasok dyan. Nakita nyo naman, umiiling na ako, kasi nga ayoko talaga. Pero ayan, sige siya ng kwento. Nagstay na kasi siya dyan, at talagang creepy daw. May mararamdaman ka talaga. So eto na nga, pinasok ko na siya, and si asawa yung nag-video sa akin. Dito sa part na to, dyan ako na wrong move. Feeling ko may natignan ako na hindi dapat. Alam niyo yung kahit ang tirik naman ng araw, parang sobrang didilim ng mga building tignan. Lalo dun sa hagdan na tinignan ko. Tapos biglang bumigat yung ulo ko. Alam niyo yung pakiramdam na parang may humampas sa akin na malaking bato.
Ang sakit agad yung ulo ko. Sumakit ulo ko.
Bago nga kami dumiretso dun sa may beach, may mga tinuro pa sa akin na sobrang creepy talaga na mga motel. Kung titignan mo pa lang, hindi mo nagugustuhin magstay. Sobrang dami naming nadaan ng ganun pagbaba namin ng ferry. At ito naman yung mga bangka na tinutukoy ko na lahat sila merong nakalagay na flag ng China. Yan yung mga mangingisda dyan sa kanila. Kung gusto nyo mapanood yung buong vlog ko rito sa Cheung Chau Island, heart this video. Sa sobrang dami kong nabasa ng comment, ngayon ko lang talaga na-confirm na sobrang lakas yung energy to the point na tumatawid siya kahit sa video. Kasi ganyan yung exact na na-feel ko nung pumasok ko dun sa street. Marami ring nag-comment na may napansin daw silang something dun sa hagdan. So yes, mga butterflies, right after kong tignan yun, dun bumigat, sumakit yung ulo ko. Dun ako nakaramdam ng bigat. Para akong pinukpok ng malaking bato. As in, bigla ako nahilo. Though wala naman akong nakita with my naked eye, wala akong specific na nakitang tao or anything, pero may na-feel akong something doon. So, paano ko ba i-explain? Kasi parang may nagpa-flash lang sa utak ko na image, and then nakita ko na parang babae yung energy na yun. Tapos, parang nasusuka ako na ewan. Sakto kakatapos lang din naman namin mag-lunch nung pumunta kami dyan. So, tinanong ko si asawa, siya yung nag-video sa akin kung ganun din may na-feel niya. Hindi naman daw kasi hindi naman niya nakita or hindi niya tinignan yung hagdan. Pati yung iba kong mga kasama kung ganun ba yung na-feel nila kasi iniisip ko baka mamaya yung kinain namin may something. Eh hindi naman guys, napakasarap ng pagkain dun, napaka-fresh. The best yung mga seafood dun. So feeling ko talaga dun yung may sobrang lakas na energy to the point na tumatawid siya kahit sa video lang. And then, meron akong isa pang video, hanapin nyo na lang din dito. Yung mismong building na nasa likod ko. Nasa yung video na sinasabi ko, alam nyo ba yung mga building sa likod ko na may kapabalagan daw, chuchuchu. Yung exact na building na yun, tinitigan ko yun. Yung pisang ko tignan simula dun sa pinakataas, parang 3rd floor ata yun. Pababa. Tapos yung pangalawang tingin ko na dun sa pinakatuktok nga na floor, yun na may something na rin ako ulit na nakita and na feel. Dun ulit bumigat yung ulo ko. That's why right after kong tignan yun, binaling ko na lang yung attention ko dun sa helicopter na sakto umiikot na rin dun sa beach area para lang mawala yung bigat ng ulo ko. And also at the back of my mind, wala akong dalang kahit anong pangontra. Wala akong suot. So, natatakot ako na baka mabitbit ko siya. Lalo na syempre sa hotel lang naman kami nag-i-stay. Masama niya baka sumama pa ng Pinas. So, grabe yung energy dyan. And until now, kapag pinapanood ko pa rin yung video na yan, kasi syempre nagbabasa-basa ako ng comments, grabe, bumibigat pa rin talaga yung ulo ko. There's something in that video, hindi ko talaga ma-specify kung baka hindi lang sa hagdan. It's more of parang pinapa-feel talaga ng mga energy na yan na nandun sila. Better is, mag-pray pa rin kayo. Kasi right after kong bisitahin yan, nung gabi na yan, nung umuwi kami ng hotel, binangungot ako. Story time ko na lang sa ibang video. Heart this video and comment nyo na agad kung i-story time na natin yun. Nakakilabot bangungutin pa sa ibang bansa, no? Parang hindi mo alam kung paano kayo hingi ng tulong. Tapos syempre hindi ka naman pamilyar sa lugar. Bakit daw yung dalawang unang pumasok doon hindi naman natakot? Tourist spot kasi yun, so syempre hindi naman nila sasabihin na alam nyo ba maraming namatay dito, eh dinawalan sila ng mga turista. Kaya ko lang din naman nalaman yung history ng lugar na yun is dahil ang nagkwento sa akin mismo Hong Kongese din. Tsaka kahit i-search nyo sa Google, legit naman talaga, ang dami pala talaga nagpakamatay. Maging siya mismo, hindi rin siya naniniwala na ganun pala yung mga ganap dun sa lugar na yun. Not until nung nagstay siya doon. So nag-check-in sila doon din mismo, isa sa mga kwarto doon. And then may isang gabi daw na bigla siyang nagising, madaling araw yun. Tapos, pagising niya, sobrang nakakilabot nung kinukwento niya to. Pagising niya, nagulat daw siya nakabaliktad lahat ng gamit. Until nung na-realize niya na siya pala ay nandoon sa kisame nakadikit. So nagulat siya, yung kasama din niya, tinitignan niya sa ilalim. Sabi niya, bakit kaya nakabaliktad itong mga gamit? Pati yung kasama niya, nasa lapag. Yun pala siya yung nasa ibabaw, nasa kisame. Pero panaginip niya lang yun ha. Tapos habang nakabaliktad siya, hindi daw niya maigalaw yung katawan niya. niya tas walang lumalabas na boses sa kanya. Para siyang na-sleep paralysis. Alam ko yung ganun feeling kasi ilang beses na ako na ganun. Para daw nakatali yung mga kamay niya, yung mga paa niya. Tapos nakadikit siya sa kisame. Tapos eto pa pala, ang feeling daw niya pag nasa loob siya ng kwarto, parang baliktad yung oras. Ang creepy, di ba? Sabi ko parang hindi ko pa na-feel yung ganun, yung baliktad yung oras. Parang baliktad daw yung ikot ng mundo, ganun. Simula nun, hindi na siya talaga bumalik doon para mag-check-in. Or kahit man lang bumisita, yun na daw yung last na punta niya. Bumalik lang siya ulit nung kasama na kami. Tapos alam niyo ba, after nung video na yun, yung naglakad ako papasok tapos lumabas din naman ako agad. Tinanong niya kasi ako, bakit daw lumabas ako agad? Ba't daw hindi ko nilakad hanggang dulo? So sinabi ko sa kanya. Tapos grabe nagtaasan talaga yung balahibo niya. Kung hindi lang daw talaga dahil sa amin, hindi talaga siya babalik doon. Eh hindi ko rin naman kasi alam na doon pala kami papunta sa lugar na yun. Ang sabi niya lang kasi sa amin, magdadagat daw kami. Tapos idagdag mo pa nung araw na yun ha, sa dami ng araw na pwede namang mangyari yun, na taon pa na kung kailan nagpunta kami, may nawawala na namang tao at ang hinala nagpakamatay na naman. Meron pang isang hotel doon kahit sa malayo, kitang-kita mo siya kasi malaki yung building niya. Kalimutan ko yung pangalan kong Winford. Basta nag-start sa W. Isa-search ko nga, tapos ikukwento ko sa inyo. Sabi ng mga local doon, kung papapiliin man sila na magstay sa kahit saang hotel doon, yun daw talaga yung pinaka-iiwasan nila. Di bali na lang daw talaga. Ikaw, mahilig ka rin magdagat. Bakit nga ba maraming nagpapakamatay dun sa Chung Chau Island? Horror story time! Alam nyo, maski ako nung nalaman ko yung kwento na to, hindi talaga muna ako agad naniwala kasi sobrang ganda nung beach at hindi mo talaga iisipin na may mga ganong kababalaghan na nangyari sa lugar na yun. So merong specific na lugar doon kung saan kapag pinasok mo siya, para siyang compound na sunod-sunod siya na puro mga second floor siya, mukha siyang bahay pag tinignan mo pero staycation hotel siya. Para siyang isang mahabang street tapos dikit-dikit na doon yung mga hotel. Di ko talaga alam kung hotel o motel o staycation ang tawag sa mga yon. Kasi dito sa atin sa Pinas parang transient lang yata yung tawag sa ganun. Isa sa pinakasikat na insidente ng suicide doon is nung time na may isang babaeng nag-check-in doon kasama yung anak niyang lalaki. So itong babae na to ay kaka-divorce lang sa kanyang asawa. At syempre, broken-hearted siya, malungkot. Sa sobrang sama ng loob niya dahil nag-divorce sila ng asawa niya, ang ginawa niya, pumunta sila dun sa Chung Chau Island kasama nga yung anak niya. Tapos dun sa mga isa sa hotel na yon, dun niya pinatay yung anak niya. After niya patayin yung anak niya, tsaka naman siya nag-suicide. After na nangyaring insidente na yon, maraming mga turista yung nagreklamo na kada daw mag-check-in sila sa mga hotel na yon, may naririnig sila na boses ng babae na umiiyak, o kaya naman boses ng babae na galit na akala lang nila ay baka nag-aaway daw yung mga naka-check-in din sa kabilang kwarto. Paminsan naman may mga naririnig silang kalabog o kaya naman tunog ng bata na para tumatakbo o nakikipaglaro. Pero ang pinaka nakakatakot doon, bigla kasing nagsunod-sunod talaga yung mga taong nagpapakamatay sa lugar na yon. Kung di ako nagkakamali, ang sabi ng mga local doon, more than 20 plus na yung nag-suicide sa lugar na yon. Doon mismo sa island na yun Kaya ang sabi sa akin ng friend kong Hong Kongese, karamihan daw sa mga gustong mag-suicide, doon daw pumupunta. Sabi ko nga sayang yung lugar na to kasi napakaganda talaga pero bakit kaya doon nila naiisip magpakamatay? Siguro baka dahil sobrang peaceful kasi ng dagat doon. Yung iba naman, ang paniniwala ay baka naman hindi matahimik yung mga kaluluwa kaya ang ginagawa nila is nangunguha din sila ng iba pang mga tao kaya nagsunod-sunod na yung mga nag-suicide doon. Kasi meron din mga insidente doon na may mga tao talaga nagpunta doon bilang turista, yung tipong wala naman silang alam na may problema, yung alam naman nilang masaya, tapos magugulat na lang sila, natagpuan na nilang walang buhay. So ilan sa mga namatay doon, ang hinala talaga nila, hindi naman daw nagpakamatay. Baka mamaya kinuha lang talaga ng mga kaluluwang nakatira doon. At ako na nagsasabi sa inyo mga butterflies, sobrang nakakakilabot yung street na tinutukoy ko na yun. Meron akong video na pinasok ko yun kasi nga sabi ng friend ko sa akin, dito sa lugar na to, sobrang daming nagpakamatay. At bilang alam niya na ako ay may mga, alam niyo yun, may mga senses ako na kahit papaano, minsan nakakakita, minsan nakakaramdam. Inutusan na talaga ako na, ay na, pasukin mo yan. Tignan natin kung may mafe-feel ka or may makikita ka. Alam nyo, hindi pa ako talaga nakakakalahati. Biglang bumigat yung ulo ko. Sobrang bigat. Alam nyo yung pakiram na parang may pumukpok sa ulo ko. Actually, narinig yun dun sa video. Kasi sabi ko kay Romeo, okay, videohan mo ko, napapasok ako dito. Kaming dalawa lang ang pumasok kasi nga si Mama, bit-bit si Bilog. Tapos syempre si Primo, nakasakay dun sa stroller. Ayoko namang ma-attract nila kung anumang negative energy na meron doon. And sobrang lakas talaga. Sa mga gusto makakita ng mismong video nung pumasok ako doon, heart this video and comment for part 3. Talagang sobrang kakaiba yung energy na yon na hanggang pag-uwi ko binangungot ako. Thank God talaga nagising pa ako after kong bumisita dun.
Tell me about the weirdest dream you've had that you don't actually think was a dream at all. I'll go first. About 7 years ago, I had a friend pass away. 6 months after he passed away, he visited me in a dream. Though it wasn't like any dream I've ever had before, and I am convinced I'm not a religious person or anything, but I was certainly visited by a spirit guide. I am wholly convinced that that was what visited me. Told several of my friends this story through Facebook messages. This is in 2017, and I'll share those right here, what those Facebook messages said. But basically, I was standing next to my bed. This was like the dream. I was standing next to my bed, and there was a woman in all white. She had brown hair. She was like maybe 5'6" or something. She looks at me, and it was so weird because it was as if we were talking, like having a conversation, but no words were being exchanged. She puts her hand on my shoulder. She stands behind me, puts her hand on my shoulder, and all of a sudden in my room is my friend that passed away. And he's wearing what he was wearing at his wake, which is so freaky. And he says, "Hey bud, how's it going?" Something like that. And then I ran into his arms, like crying, and I kept saying, "I'm so sorry," just for the way that he passed away. I was like, "I'm so sorry." And he's like, "It's okay, bud." And I'm like, "What are you doing here?" And he said, "I don't know. You're the first person they've let me see." Oh my god, I just got chills. And I think I said something like, "Who?" And then the lady put her hand on my shoulder again, and I just like jolted awake. And I'm not wholly convinced that was a dream, so let me know if you guys want to hear any of my other freaky stories, because I certainly have quite a few. Tell me a ghost story that sounds completely unbelievable but is entirely true. I'll go first. When I was 8 years old, my family and I moved to a small town in the Midwest, and it was a farm town. It was built in like the early 1800s. I think it was part of like the Homestead Act or something. And it was, had a bunch of acres, a barn that had burnt down. Like, it was an active farm back then. Lots of history. People definitely passed away on the property, that we knew for sure. And man, it wasn't like very obvious as a child. I was super intuitive, and I didn't know what to do with that intuition, so I naturally got a Ouija board. And of course, I dragged along my best friend and my sister and a couple other friends on this Ouija board journey, where we would go and sit at the top of the stairs to the basement, and we would turn all the lights off and turn candles on, and then ask this thing questions, and it responded. And I don't tell people this story. It sounds psycho. The fact that other people are there to verify all of these things and validate gives me inner peace, but I don't tell people. But it worked. And unlike what I thought would happen when it would move, even when we'd lift all of our hands off of it, it's still moving. Is how aggressively it moved. It wasn't gentle. It was like very sharp. And so much time would pass when we were in there talking to this entity as well. Like, we would think 10 minutes went by and it would be 2 hours. Like, insane. Being little kids, we wanted to know questions and answers like, who are we going to marry when we grow up? Or how many kids are we going to have? Or just questions like that. And every single time we started, it would give us answers at first, like, and it would tell us about itself. We would say, like, "What's your name?" And it would just say demon, D-E-M-O-N, like over and over again. When we would ask questions about me, at first it would like give us answers, and then it would just spell bitch repeatedly, B-I-T-C-H, B-I-T-C-H, B-I-T-C-H. Horrifying. Like, any question about me. Also, sorry if I seem lackluster. I already told this whole story and it deleted. It was so freaky. We're also having like visuals of like hands reaching towards the planchette, like in the candlelight flicker. This entity gave us details saying that it was like buried in the cemetery. A cemetery that was like local, like the name was legit. It gave us like, I think it either gave us a plot number or it was just like the last name. And we did go there, and what we found was crazy.
The dark side of housekeeping that nobody talks about. The paranormal activity, especially when you're working graveyard. I don't know if you guys know of Luxor Hotel. It's like this big black pyramid in Las Vegas. That's where I was my first job, housekeeping. There's this weird background story of these construction workers that fell as they were building it. So I'm doing a room. I'm on I believe the 13th floor. That was a red flag right there. Number 13 is just infamous for being all kind of bad. I'm on the 13th floor and I'm doing my rooms, and this is around like New Year's Eve, so it's packed, but everybody's like, it's Vegas, so it's nighttime, nightlife, everybody is doing their thing. Nobody's really in the rooms. Everybody's out and about, you know, just doing the Vegas thing. It's so quiet during graveyard. It's so fucking quiet. You can hear yourself breathing sometimes. Like, if you can't hear the music or anything, you can hear yourself breathing. And I get chills when I still think about this. I hear this voice say, "Excuse me, ma'am." And I'm in the bathroom, so like the bathrooms are fairly close to the door. So when you're cleaning the rooms, you have your car parked in front of the door. So I come from the bathroom thinking that person's right there, because that's how close it sounds to me, thinking that they're right there by my cart. I go out to the cart, baby, there's nobody fucking there. There's nobody fucking there. So in my mind, I'm thinking like, maybe they were just like, it was just like a hi, bye kind of thing. I don't know, maybe they were drinking, just saw me, like, excuse me, ma'am. So I go back to cleaning, and I'm cleaning out the sink this time, but I hear it again. "Excuse me, ma'am." You know, like more of like a, "Excuse me, ma'am." Like trying to get past me or something. I hear it again. I look, and it's fucking cold, like right in front of me. So I'm like, oh no, this ain't that, bro. I done seen too much, or too much in life. Like, I'm not about to go out like this. I closed that door so quick. I got the fuck out of that room. I closed it, went on to the next room. Leave for the next. Like, I'm done with this. I already was getting like a creepy, weird ass vibe. And if you know, there are a lot of stories that people, they see like silhouettes, black silhouettes. Sometimes people will see people running at them that aren't there. You'll hear things will move. That is just the very first instance. You guys like and comment if you want to hear more.